Hi everyone, this is Vinita and welcome to Hopeful Turns. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. On my channel here, I make a lot of crochet patterns and tutorials. And in today's video, I'm taking you to the basics of crochet. So this video is all about how to crochet for absolute beginners. So if you're someone who has never crocheted before but would like to learn crochet, then this video is for you. Now if you see the crochet patterns out there, be it the very simple ones or the complicated ones, all of the patterns are made with a few basic stitches or a slight modification or a combination of the basic stitches. And in this video, we'll be learning how to crochet the basic stitches. So once you learn the basic stitches, you can attempt almost any crochet pattern out there. So here in this video, I'm going to divide the video into a few sections so that it is easy for you to navigate. So what I'll do is I will start with the basic supplies that you'd require as a beginner. Then we'll see how to make a slip knot. We'll be also seeing how to hold the yarn and the hook. And then we'll go through the basic stitches. So we'll start with we'll start with chain stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet and triple crochet. So these are the few basic stitches in crochet, and towards the end we will do a comparison of the stitches just so that you understand how each stitch is different from the other. And then I'll also take you through a few patterns, like I'll just give you once you learn the basic stitches, what next. So how can you start your crochet with the basic stitches? So I'll just give you a rough guideline which all patterns you can attempt once you learn the basic stitches. So this is how the flow of the video is going to be, and I'll be putting the sections in the timestamps in the description box. So if you're looking for one particular stitch, you can go right there in the timestamp, click on it and go right to the basic stitches so that you can avoid all the things that are redundant to you. It might just be a clutter if you are just looking for a particular stitch. So do check the description box for the timestamp. Okay, now let's start with the supplies. So for the supplies here, you would require very basic things. So you would require a yarn, a hook and a pair of scissors. Now if you are a beginner, I would recommend that you get yourself a medium 4-weight acrylic yarn. Now why a medium 4-weight? It's because there are different kinds of yarn. There are thin yarns, there are thick yarns. But for a beginner, I would say it would be better to use a medium weight yarn. So if you see the label here, it says a 4. So this is 4 means a medium 4-weight yarn. It is neither too thick nor too thin. So this is the ideal yarn that you can use for as a beginner. Now each country has a different collection of yarn. So if you are from someone from US, the medium 4-weight yarn, you can find it in Red Heart or in Karen yarns. If you are from UK, you can try Paint Box yarn. If you are from India, you can use Ganga Alisha. So all of these yarn links I'll put in the description box so that you can understand what exactly I am referring to. This is Ice Yarns. This is a medium 4-weight yarn. Now once you choose your yarn, okay, now yarn also try to get an acrylic yarn, because as a beginner you will be doing a lot of undoing also. So each time you make a mistake, you might just unravel it. So acrylic yarn is a kind of yarn that will hold the shape better even with multiple usages. Apart from acrylic yarn, you can have cotton, you can have wool, bamboo. There are a lot of varieties. So go with an acrylic yarn. It is much more cheaper also. Okay, and preferably a light color. Do not go and take a black color because it will be very difficult to see the stitches. And get yourself a non-textured, a plain, simple, boring looking yarn. That is what we require here. Okay, so that is with respect to yarn. Now when it comes to hook, you have to refer to the yarn. So each yarn comes with a recommended hook size. Now for a medium 4-weight yarn, it has been given as a 5 mm crochet hook. It will be mentioned in the yarn itself. So I'm using a 5 mm or size H. This is from Clover. Size H 5 mm crochet hook is what I'm using. You can use something with handle or something without a handle. Both will be fine. then of course a pair of scissors. Make sure that it is sharp enough. Now these are only the things that you'd require for this video, but if you are planning to do crochet on a very serious note, you would be requiring a yarn needle or a darning needle. It has a very large eye. So this is something that you would require as and when you do more and more crochet projects. I'm not going to use a darning needle here. Okay, so these are the supplies. Let's start with the slip knot. Now before we start the slip knot, I would also like to mention that when it comes to crochet, there are two different terminologies. One is your US terminology, the other is your UK terminology. Whichever terminology that you're going to use, the stitches will be done the same way. It's just that each stitch will be referred to by a different name. So on my channel here, I only use US terminology, but in this video, I'm going to put out both the US and the UK terminology for the stitches. Alright, now let's start with the slip knot. So we'll start this with a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, you take your yarn and then loop it around your finger like an X. Once you have that, we are going to pull the working yarn through the loop that is there on our finger. Now if you see here, this part of the yarn is called your tail end. So this is towards the very end. And this yarn that goes and attaches itself to the ball, this is called your working yarn. So I'm going to pull the working yarn through the loop that is there on my finger. So what I'll do is, I'll take this loop out first and then I'll pull the working yarn through this loop. Okay, so I'm just using my finger and I'll just pull it out like this. So this here is your slip knot. It's a very simple knot, and this knot is to attach the yarn to the hook. So I'll show you once again. Now if you want to undo this, all you have to do is you have to just pull on both of these ends. So you can see it becomes undone. Okay, so I'll show you once again. So take your yarn, loop it around your finger like an X. Once you have that, you take this loop out and then pull your working yarn through this loop. So this is lying here. I'll just bring it to the middle so that it is easier to pull it out. So with my finger, I'm just pulling it out. Okay, so this here is your slip knot. Once you have that, you take your hook, put your hook through the loop that we have just made, and then pull on both the ends of this yarn. So this will go and attach it to the hook. Okay, so there our slip knot is done. Now when you're attaching it, when you're pulling it, don't pull it too tight. It should be tight enough to be able to hold properly. It should be able to glide. The yarn should be able to glide over the hook, but not very tight and not very loose. If it is very loose, it will come out. If it is very tight, then the yarn will not move. So this here is your slip knot. Okay, now let's see how to hold the yarn and the hook. So for the holding of the yarn and the hook, there are two ways. So the first way is like a knife hold or a knife grip. So you hold the hook like a knife, something like this. And the second way is to hold it like a pen or a pencil. The way you hold a pen or a pencil, that's how you do it. This is called your pencil grip or your pencil hold. Now I'm most comfortable with the knife hold, so I will be using the knife hold method. I will say that just try out both the methods, and whatever you are comfortable with, you can stick with that. Now if you find some other method to hold the hook and you're comfortable with it, just stick with it. These are just the two popular methods. Now let's see how to hold the yarn. Now when it comes to holding the yarn, there are different methods. I'll show you the method that I follow. So this is how I like to hold my yarn. This is the end. I'll bring it between my ring finger and my pinky finger. I'll turn my hand like this and I will pull the yarn between these two fingers like this and wrap it once and hold it with my thumb and my middle finger. I'll show you once again. So I'll show it with the help of a slip knot so that it is much more clearer. So I'll just first of all make a slip knot, and now I'll show it with the help of the slip knot. Okay, so this is how I like to do. I'll take the yarn, I'll pass it between the ring finger and the pinky finger, turn over my hand. Now I'll bring this yarn between these two fingers, wrap it once like this and turn. Now with the thumb and my middle finger, I'm going to catch hold of this yeah, that is there on the hook. You can see this is the knot. So this is how I like to hold my yarn. Now if you find this very difficult, what you can do is, this is another method. You just need your thumb here, rotate it once. So I have just passed my hook between the pointing finger and the middle finger like this. I will just loop it once, okay, and when I come back, I'm going to use my thumb and the middle finger to hold the slip knot. So this is another way of holding the yarn. Whichever is comfortable, you can do that, but I will say that if these two methods you are not comfortable with it, just go around. You can just type in how to hold the yarn. There are different methods of holding a yarn. Each one will come up with a different method. So if you are a beginner, just try out different methods, and whatever is comfortable for you, you can stick with that. I'll show once again how I like to hold my yarn. I'll take it through these two fingers, flip over, pull out the yarn once, bring it over, and with the help of a thumb and the middle finger, I'll hold my slip knot, okay. And when you're doing this, make sure this is very straight. That is, if you keep it bit floppy, your stitches will be very loose. If you are holding it very tight, your stitches will be very tight. So try to find a balance. This should be straight, okay. So that is how we hold the yarn and the hook. Now we'll start with how to do the chain stitch. Okay, so for a chain stitch, again we are going to start with a slip knot. I'll hold it like a knife hold. That is what I'm going to do, and then I'll again position my hand like this, okay. So I'm ready. Now we'll start with the chain stitch. So for a chain stitch, you keep your hook and your yarn parallel to each other. Once you're done, you go towards your left, you take your yarn, you take your hook under your yarn, something like this, okay. So I'm keeping it parallel. I'm going left, I'm going under the yarn, and now I'm going to hook the yarn on the hook here. You can see the hook is facing up, so this will hook up the yarn, and now I'm going to pull this yarn through the small loop that is there between the slip knot and the loop. So you see, I'm just going to pull the yarn like this there. So this is our first chain stitch, okay. I'll show again. So this is our first chain stitch. I'm just going to pinch my fingers on the chain stitch here, just at the start of the stitch that is on the hook, okay. That is where I'm going to pinch with the help of my thumb and my middle finger. Now to make a chain stitch, go left, go under your yarn. Now hook the yarn on the hook and pull the yarn through. So there should be a little bit gap so as to pull the yarn. So this here is my second chain stitch. We'll do that again. So hold it parallel, go left, go under your yarn. Now hook the yarn on your hook. So try to keep the hook always facing up, and then pull your yarn through this loop. So if you're not able to pull it, just try to keep it towards your left so that there is some gap to take your yarn out like this. So here our 3 chain stitches are done. 1, 2, 3. You can put a few more chain stitches. I'll do that again. So go left, go under your yarn and pull your yarn through. So this is my 4th chain stitch. We'll do that again. So hold it parallel, go left, go under your yarn, hook up the yarn and then pull it through. So if you see, if I'm keeping it very tight, you will not be able to pull your yarn through. So what you can do is just take your hand towards your left so as there is a little bit gap that is there, and try to loosen your hands. If you are holding it very tightly, the yarn will not move. So relax, let it go, just keep it a little bit loose and then do it. So go left, go under your yarn, keep it loose, nice and loose, and then pull your yarn through. So the more you tighten it, so if you see here, go left, go under, and then if it is very tight, if you're holding on very tight and there is no gap, you cannot pull your yarn through. So make sure that it is quite loose so as to pull your yarn. So like this, you can make a couple of stitches. If you want, you can make a very long chain stitch, and when you're done you can stop. So this is how you make your chain stitches. All right, now let's move on to the single crochet. Now before that, I'm just going to make 10 chain stitch and I'll cut it off and we'll start with a single crochet. All right, so here I have made my 10 chain stitches. I'm just going to cut my yarn so as I can have a comparison towards the end. So my plan is to make 10 single crochet, 10 half double crochet, like that. So I'm just starting with 10 chain stitch. Okay, so I've cut my yarn. This is how my 10 chain stitches is. You can see very clearly there is kind of a V stitch here going. You don't have to cut it. I'm just cutting it just so that I can show it later. To have a more comparison with the other stitches. Okay, now we'll start with the single crochet. So let's see how to make the single crochet. Now single crochet stitch is the US terminology. The corresponding UK terminology will be double crochet. So let's see how to make this. So here again I'm going to start with a slip knot, and here I will make 11 chain stitch. So make your 11 chain stitch and then meet me once you are done with 11 chain stitch. So if you want, you can pause the video here and make your 11 chain stitch. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you see, I'm not pinching my hook every stitch because I am quite used to it. But if you are a beginner, after every stitch you may have to move your thumb. But I'm quite comfortable with a few stitches before I move my thumb. So I'll make a few more, 8, 9. I'll just give it a count. I'm starting with 11 chain stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Alright, so here I have got my 11 chain stitch. Now if you see here, it is quite evenly balanced chain stitch. Now as a beginner, you may or may not have such a balanced, evenly placed chain stitch. It's not a big deal. It will all come with practice. Okay, so let's see how to make the single crochet. Now if you see here, we have 11 chain stitch. For the single crochet, I'm going to skip the very first chain stitch and insert my hook into the second chain stitch from the hook. You will not be counting this loop as a stitch. Okay, you should not count this. The stitch next to it we are going to skip. So this is the first stitch and this here is my second stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook into the second stitch from the hook like this. Okay, then I'm going to pull up the working yarn. So I'm going to hook the working yarn and pull it through just the first loop like this. Okay, now I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over. That is, I'm going to go and I'm going to go under the yarn and hook it up. This is called yarn over. And I'm going to pull the working yarn through both these loops like this. So this here is my single crochet. Like this, we are going to make 1 full row of single crochet. So I'll insert my hook into the next stitch as well. Now if you see here, it is like a V. So each chain stitch is like a V. I'm just going to insert my hook and catch just the top strand. So there is a top strand, there is a bottom strand like a V. Actually, one chain stitch is made up of 3 loops. If you see here, there is a top, there is a bottom, and if you flip over, there is the third stitch that is running along. This is your back loop. So each chain stitch is made with 3 loops, but when we are doing here, we are just going to go between the V and catch only the top loop. Okay, so that is what we are going to do for your single crochets. Right, so I'll just start again. So one single crochet has been done. Go to the next chain stitch, insert your hook onto that stitch, and then go and catch your working yarn and pull your working yarn only through one stitch, just the first stitch or first loop. Okay, now you have 2 loops. Now you yarn over again. So what is yarn over? Go left, go under, hook your working yarn, and now you pull the working yarn through both these loops. Try to keep your hand loose so as to pull your yarn like this. So this is my next single crochet. Like this, I'm again going to the next stitch, insert your hook, pull up a loop through just one loop, this loop only. So I'm just going to pull my yarn through one loop. Okay, I have 2 loops left. I'll yarn over. So I'm going to go left, go under, I'll just hook my yarn here and pull through both the loops. So this completes my next single crochet. Like this, I'm going to do one full row of single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. Now at any point you feel that you have made a mistake, you can totally correct it. All you have to do is take your hook out and pull your yarn out. So you can see it gets undone and you can start from where you have stopped. So even if you make a mistake, you can totally correct it. You just have to take your hook out and then just frog your work. Frogging is nothing but undoing your work. So that is kind of a crochet terminology that we quite often use. So mistakes can be easily corrected when it comes to crochet. So I'll show you once again how to do a single crochet. Insert your hook like this, then pull up a loop. So yeah, you just have to hook it on the working yarn and pull it through just one loop. You have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. So like this, I'll just complete this row. And since we had started with 11 chain stitch and we had skipped 1 stitch, you will have a total of 10 single crochet. Okay, so I have just 1 stitch left here. I'll do it again with you. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both the loops. Okay, so this completes 1 row of single crochet. Now at this point, I'm just going to cut my yarn. Now if you want, you can just undo this and start again. Keep practicing. You need not cut it. I'm just cutting it because I just want to compare it. Okay, next we'll start the half double crochet. So let's see how to make a half double crochet. Now half double crochet is the US terminology. If you are following the UK terminology, this stitch will be known as your half treble crochet. Okay, so let's see how to make this. So for the half double crochet, I have made a slip knot and I have put 11 chain stitch. So if you want, you can pause your video, make a slip knot and make 11 chain stitch and meet me and we can start. Okay, so as I said, I have made 11 chain stitch. We will start half double crochet. Now for half double crochet, what we'll do is we will skip the first 2 chain stitches. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2. I'm going to skip the first 2 chain stitch and I'll insert my hook into the 3rd stitch from the hook. You are never counting this as a stitch. This is just a loop. So from the hook 1, 2 and 3. This is my 3rd stitch. I'll insert my hook here. Now if you find difficulty in finding the 3rd stitch from the hook, you can count from here and find the 3rd stitch. Okay, so since we have made 11 chain stitch, this will be 9. So count from here the 9th chain stitch also. So if you are a beginner, you can do that as well. Okay, so we'll insert our hook. Now for a half double crochet, before we insert our hook, you always have to do yarn over. So yarn over is nothing but go left, go under your yarn. So this is yarn over. Okay, so you'll be hearing yarn over quite often. So this is yarn over. I'll show you again. So go left, go under your yarn like this. So this is yarn over. Now skip the first 2 stitches, 1, 2. Insert your hook into the 3rd stitch from the hook. So 1, 2 and this is my 3rd stitch. I'm going to insert my hook just through the, it is like a V, so only the top loop. Now what you do is you pull your working yarn through the first loop that is there. So yarn over and just pull your working yarn through the first loop. Okay, now you see you have 3 loops on your hook. Now you have to yarn over again and pull your working yarn through all the 3 loops. So we'll do that. So yarn over and pull your working yarn through all the 3 loops. So like this. Okay. Okay, so we'll do that again. So before you start a half double crochet, you have to yarn over first. Then insert your hook into the next stitch. So this stitch has been taken care of. This is our next stitch. So insert your hook into that stitch. Okay, and then pull up a loop. So just pull your working yarn through this loop only. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all the 3. Now if you cannot pull it in one go, you can pull it one by one like this. So through the first loop, second loop and third loop. So this also will work. So this is our second half double crochet. We will make another one. So yarn over first, insert your hook into that stitch and then pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. So this is our next half double crochet. Like this, I'm going to do 1 full row of half double crochets. So we'll do that once more. So you have to yarn over first, insert your hook into that stitch, right? Then pull up a loop. You have 3 loops. You have to yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. You can do it one by one or in one go. So yarn over and pull it through all the 3 loops. 1, 2 and 3. So this is our next half double crochet. So like this, you can repeat this till you reach the end of this round. All right. So this is my next half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. So I'll just finish this and then cut my yarn. Okay, so I have reached almost the end of this. I'll do that again once more with you. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops here. Okay, so this is my last half double crochet. So here we have completed 1 full row of half double crochet, and I'm going to cut my yarn. So I'll make a chain 1 and then cut my yarn off. Now if you see, you should be having 9 half double crochet, and we had skipped 2 chain stitch in the very beginning. So 2 chain stitch is actually a height of 1 half double crochet. Okay, so if you see the strip here, you can actually count the 9 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so here we have 9 half double crochet, and here we have a 2 chain stitch. So 9 plus 1 together we have a total of 10 half double crochet. So the chain 2 here, as I said, it is the height of 1 half double crochet, and we'll be counting the chain 2 as our first half double crochet. So that is how you do your half double crochet stitch. Now if you want to know how to do the next row, I do have a detailed tutorial on that. So I have a separate playlist for crochet for basic stitches. So in that I have made separate videos on all the basic stitches. There I have shown how to do the next row. So if you're interested, you can find the playlist link in the description box, or if you click on the I button that is popping up, you can find that video. Okay, so let's see the next stitch. So the next stitch that we are going to do is the double crochet stitch. So that is the US terminology, and in UK terminology, double crochet is known as your treble crochet stitch. Okay, so let's see. So for this I have again made a chain stitch. So I had started with a slip knot, and this time I had put 12 chain stitches. So if you want, you can pause the video here, make a slip knot, make 12 chain stitch and meet me, and we can start the next stitch. Okay, so as I said, here I have made 12 chain stitches. Now we'll start. Now for the double crochet, what we'll do is we will skip 3 stitches from the hook, not the loop here, but 3 stitches from the hook. So this is first chain stitch, second chain stitch, third chain stitch. So we are going to skip 3 chain stitches and insert our hook into the 4th chain stitch from the hook. So this is my 4th chain stitch from the hook, where I'll put my first double crochet. Now in case you find it difficult, you can count from here. So the 3rd chain stitch, or you can say this is the 4th stitch. So you can count 9 chain stitch from the beginning and find that. So either way is fine. Since you are a beginner, you might be a little bit confused. So you can find it either way. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th stitch. There I'm going to place a double crochet. Now for a double crochet, we'll do exactly how we did for a half double crochet. We have to yarn over first, insert the hook into the 4th chain stitch from the hook like this, then pull up a loop. So I'm just pulling the working yarn through the first loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Now there is a slight difference between the half double crochet. For a double crochet, you yarn over and pull your working yarn through only the first 2 loops. So I'm going to pull my yarn through just the first 2 loops. I still have 2 loops left. I'm again going to yarn over and pull it through the last 2 loops like this. Okay, so this here is my double crochet. Like this, I'm going to repeat it till the end of this row. So this is my next stitch here. I'll make a double crochet. So first of all, you have to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch. This stitch has been taken care of. I'm going to insert here. I'm going to pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over and pull the working yarn through only the first 2 loops, not the last one, just the 2 loops. First 2 loops, so yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. You have still 2 loops left. Again you yarn over and pull it through the last 2 loops. So this is my next double crochet. We'll do that once more. So yarn over first. So for a half double crochet and a double crochet, you have to yarn over first. Insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop. Again you yarn over and pull through only the first 2 loops. Again you yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So this is my next half double crochet. We will do it one last time. I'll do it with you. So again yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Alright, so this is how our double crochet stitches is to be done. So I'll just go on repeating till I reach the very end. Okay, so if you want, you can pause the video or just rewind it, see how the double crochet is made, and complete this row. Now if you remember, we had skipped the first 3 stitches for this double crochet. So the first 3 stitches here will be counted as a double crochet. I'll explain in a bit. So in case you make a mistake, just as I said, if you do any mistake, just take your hook, just undo this, and you can repeat it. So don't worry if you make a mistake, you can rectify it quite nicely when it comes to double crochet. You just have to undo your work and start again. Okay, so I am just almost towards the end. Okay, so here I have last stitch left. I'll do that again with you. So yarn over, insert your hook into that last stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull to the first 2, yarn over, pull to the last 2. So this is my last half double crochet. Okay, now I'll just cut my yarn here. So I'll make a chain 1. So making a chain 1 kind of closes or locks the stitch in place. Okay, so our double crochet is done. Okay, so we'll have 9 double crochet and a chain 3. So this is a chain 3. This chain 3 is the height of 1 double crochet. So we are going to count the chain 3 as 1 double crochet. So this is 1. We should have 9 double crochet here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 double crochet plus your chain 3 together makes it 10 double crochet. So this is how you do a double crochet. Now we'll move on to the very last stitch. Okay, so the next stitch that we are going to see is the triple crochet stitch. So triple crochet is the US terminology. When it comes to UK terminology, this stitch is known as your double treble crochet stitch. Okay, so we'll start. So for this, what I have done is I have made a slip knot, and this time I have put 13 chain stitches. Okay, so make your 13 chain stitch and then we can start. Okay, so for this here, for your triple crochet, we have to skip 4 chain stitches and work our first stitch into the 5th stitch. So skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this here is my 5th stitch from the hook. So I have to skip 4 stitches and I'll make my triple crochet in the 5th stitch from the hook. Okay, so for a triple crochet, you have to yarn over 2 times, not once but twice. So this is once. you make another yarn over. So you have to yarn over 2 times. I'll show you. So yarn over once, yarn over twice. So we have 2 times done the triple crochet. Insert your hook into the 5th chain stitch from the hook. Skipping 4 stitches, into the 5th stitch I'm inserting my hook, and I'll pull up a loop like this, just from the first loop. Now if you see, I have 4 loops on my hook. For a triple crochet, you have to yarn over, pull your working yarn through first 2 loops. You have 3 loops left. Again yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull to the last 2 loops. So this is my triple crochet. We'll do that again. So for a triple crochet, you have to yarn over 2 times, 1 and 2. Okay, then insert your hook into the next stitch and then pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull to the first 2, yarn over, pull to the next 2, yarn over, pull to the last 2. So this is my next triple crochet. Like this, I'm just going to complete this row as well. So yarn over 2 times, insert your hook into the next stitch and then pull up a loop. You have 4 loops. Yarn over, pull to the first 2, yarn over, pull to the next 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, so this here is my triple crochet. Like this, I'll just finish off this row, making a row of triple crochet. So if you want, you can pause the video, go back, see how to make a triple crochet and complete the stitch. Anyway, I'll just finish this off. So here I have completed 1 full row of triple crochet. Now if you count, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 triple crochet and the chain stitches. So we had skipped 4 chain stitch. So if you calculate 4 chain stitch as 1 triple crochet, we again end up with a total of 10 triple crochet. So 4 chain stitch is the height of 1 triple crochet. So that is how you do a triple crochet. Now we'll just compare this with the other stitches. So we'll just compare it with the other stitches. So this is what we had made earlier. We had started with 10 chain stitch. Okay, I'll just keep it down. So we have started with 10 chain stitch. Now if you compare this, this is how the height is going to change. So single crochet is made, so this here is our 10 single crochet. We had skipped 1 stitch. So in single crochet itself, the chain 1 that we had skipped will not be treated as a stitch. That will be just treated as a turning chain. So here we have 10 single crochet. Now if you compare it with your half double crochet, we had skipped 2 chain stitches and then made the half double crochet. So chain 2 is the height of a half double crochet. So it is a little bit longer than your single crochet. Now if you compare your double crochet here, we had skipped 3 chain stitch. So 3 chain stitch is the height of a double crochet and it is still taller than your half double crochet. Now the very last stitch here is your triple crochet, for which we had skipped 4 chain stitch. So 4 chain stitch is the height of 1 triple crochet and this is the longest or the tallest stitch among all these. So these here are the basic stitches that you have to learn if you want to start crocheting. Okay, now let's just see what to do once you learn your basic stitches. So most of the patterns you just need these stitches, or as I said, you just need a combination of these stitches or a slight modification. So I have actually done in my basic that playlist how to do increases, how to do decreases, but all that depends on the basic stitches. So once you learn this, you can go ahead and see what is increases, what is decreases, all of that. And again, as I said, you can find the playlist in which I have shown how to do the second, third rows also of all of these stitches. Okay, now I just want to talk about the patterns that you can try after you learn the basic stitches. So the patterns that you can try out once you learn the basic stitches would be very small simple crochet projects. So this here is a very simple crochet flower. So this is an absolutely beginner friendly pattern, so you can just try out a very simple flower. Crochet flowers are a great start to start experimenting with your stitches. This again is a very simple flower made with double crochet and chain stitch. So yeah, do give them a try. Try to see how the basic stitches all come together to give a shape and all. Other examples would be to start with shapes. So this here is a granny square. Now granny square is the most popular and the evergreen pattern in crochet. So you can give a granny square a try. You can make it in one color or in different colors. You can even try out to make a circle. So once you learn the circle, you can adapt it in many different projects. So you can make beanies, bags, baskets. So all of this, the basic is to start with a circle. So you can start with some shapes, very simple projects, because as a beginner you should be seeing some results to get motivated. So start with very simple quick projects so that you can see the results and try out other patterns. Okay, so these are a few of my suggestions of the patterns that you can try out. I'll put all of these links in the description box. If you're interested, you can go through it. I'll also add a few more videos in a playlist which are more beginner friendly. Okay, so if at all you make anything, please do tag me on my social media handles. I'll put my Instagram, Facebook links all in the description box. Please do tag me. I would love to see your progress. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I hope it was useful and helpful. If you liked it, please do not forget to press on the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please do consider subscribing. You can find all crochet related tutorials and patterns here on my channel, and I'm really looking forward to see you more often here. So that's all for today's video. Happy crocheting and bye.